pair. That would be you when you guys are together, okay? Okay. So turn and talk to your partner. You three. Jackson, your turn. Jackson, your turn to talk to Kyra. Jackson, tell her your favorite part of the Nathan, tell her what the thing is. Look at her and talk.
My favorite part was the name.
Are you looking at Kyra?
It can be big on
Okay, look at Kyra. You're talking to her. Did you tell her what they said?
They were so how we learned about that wasn't a part of it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So yesterday we went on our field trip to the pumpkin patch. That's not how we behave on the carpet. Sit with yourself, crisscross applesauce. We went to the pumpkin patch, and I know I learned some things about pumpkins. Can someone tell me the first thing I learned about pumpkins? Jackson.
Inside they have seed.
Okay, so they begin with a...
And seed. And
think about life cycle. That's what we learned.
First they have seeds planted in the ground.
Okay, stop.
And then
Stop. First we put a seed in the ground. We plant the seed in the ground, the pumpkin seed. What comes from the pumpkin seed then, Olivia? What happens? Alyssa, what happens then? Ooh, I love the word she just used. It begins to sprout. You guys remember what we did for sprout? Sprout? Okay, or shoot. Okay, after it sprouts, Kinsley, tell me what the next level is. Ooh, the vines start to come out. We talked the other day about those vines, and what word did we use to describe the vine? What word did our story use to describe the vine? Raise your hand. Snaked. The vine snaked. Connor, I'm over here, buddy. The vine snaked through the ground. In the story, where did the vine snake through? Woods. Windows. They snaked through the windows. Jackson, I don't call on people who are doing that. Okay, and then tell me the next part of the life cycle after the vine snakes around. Emery. Flowers begin to grow on the vines. Okay, then the next part, Olivia.
There's a little green pot in the flower stem.
Oh, there's something inside the little flower, and it starts to grow. Starts to grow or bloom, and what comes out of that? What do they get from that? Hank?
A green pumpkin.
A green pumpkin. It doesn't begin as the color.
Dark green.
Really dark. It does not begin as the color it's going to end as, does it? Right? Okay. And then after it's green, Colby, what happens then?
It turns orange.
It can turn orange. We learned yesterday that, I don't call on people who do that. We learned yesterday that it comes out green, and as it grows, it can become orange. It can also become what, Braden? It can become orange. It can become white. It could become what, Kyra?
Green, orange.
Okay, like green and orange, different colors. There was a really speckledy one. Hey, Hutch?
Blue pumpkins. Red.
I saw a red one. I didn't see a blue one. It was a really deep, deep orange that kind of looked a little red. Okay, was there any other colors? There was
Yellow.
there was a there was yellow. What was that? Wasn't a pumpkin. It was a. Oh, think of that word. Say that word again. Squash.
It has the.
Turn and tell your partner what's going on in the word squash. Boys, we will go back to our seat. This is not a wrestling. Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at me. Squash has a what on the end? S-H. And what's at the beginning? Ooh, we haven't. Hold on. I want you to say the word and think to yourself, Woods. What's at the beginning of squash? Yes, a 3-letter blend. What would that 3-letter blend be? Squa, which is what 3 letters? S-Q-U. S-Q-U. Good. Okay. So we did find out that there are all different kinds of pumpkins and gourds. There's squash and there's pumpkins and there's yellow ones and green ones. There's a gray one. Yes. Okay, there were all different kinds. Is that the end of the life cycle? Yeah. It grows and then inside of it is what? More seeds, so it can do what? Just start over. It makes a cycle. Not appropriate. Kyra has a question.
Did you know that pumpkins are a squash?
Pumpkins are a squash. She told us that yesterday. That's one of the things you learned. Very good. Okay, so hands down. Today I'm gonna quickly go back through this book and we're gonna talk about it before we write about it. Thursday's the day we write. So today we're gonna learn. When we write, we're gonna summarize. And I know you don't know what that is yet, but we're going to talk about what summarization. Everybody say the word summarization. Summarization means to summarize. Everybody say summarize. Let's say it with a little more excitement. Summarize. We're going to summarize our book today. Okay, but I'm going to do it verbally first by looking at it. Okay? So the title is
Pumpkin Town.
Okay, if you said pumpkin, I want you to think, because here's how we spell it. Well, it's right here. That's one of the blends. Pumpkin. Now I want you to say it quietly. Whisper it to yourself. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. You know what happens when we say words wrong? Do you know what happens when we say words wrong? I want you to think about it. Just think about it. Think about it for a minute. Jackson, what happens when we say a word wrong?
You can just keep on trying it.
Okay, we can keep practicing it until we say it correctly, but what happens eventually if we say a word wrong over and over?
We'll get stuck with it and never get it right.
Okay, what else will happen? You said it a minute ago. If you say it wrong, you'll
write it wrong.
You'll spell it wrong when you write it. You'll write it wrong. So we want to make sure we're pronouncing it correctly. Pumpkin. Pumpkin Town. Okay. So at the beginning, who are my characters? Who are my characters, Kinsley? Do you remember his name? Jose and his brothers. Jose and his family grew pumpkins. That growing began with shiny seeds, which were followed by long vines, and those vines grew every which way. The pumpkins grew every which way too, from small to fat and tall. The Jack B. Littles could be dropped into pockets. The Happy Jacks were bigger. A strong enough boy could carry just one. The Big Moons were bigger still, too large for 5 boys to roll. Okay, so we've got Jose and his family. Not his friends, his family.
My son's brother.
Okay. Jose and his family in the fall, what would they do? What do we do in the fall? What's the word that I'm looking for? When you go out and you get all the stuff you've planted, what's that word?
Harvest.
Harvest. He and his brothers would go
Harvest the pumpkin.
gather or harvest all the pumpkins.
Carve.
Well, nope, not the word is gather. They didn't carve them because where did they have to take them?
They had to take them to the store.
They had to and then they would take the pumpkins to faraway cities, and there they would give them to who?
The cash register.
No, they were the farmers.
I'm trying to say cash register.
You don't give it to the cash register. You sell them to the store.
Yeah.
And then when you go to buy it, you give money to the cash register. Okay. Shh, Jackson, thank you. Before the trucks took the pumpkins, Jose and his family saved a few. Huh. I want you to think about that. Would you save a few pumpkins for yourself?
Yeah.
Maybe, because you might want to do what?
Next year with the seeds.
Because you might want to plant
You
them
might
again.
want to take the seeds
Okay,
out.
Abigail, please wait to be called on before you start talking. Emery.
You might want to save a few so that way you can plant some more seeds for next year to get to the store.
Okay, and that's what they did, right? This was how they made their living. This was their job. They were farmers. This is how farmers make their living. This is what they do. Okay, when it came to saving pumpkins, Jose's father always said, save only the
big seeds.
okay, wait, let me just wait.
The big pumpkin.
Just listen. I want you to think about it. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. If you take the little ones, we know they would take the little ones and they would sort them and they'd take all the little ones and they'd kind of toss them. So what were they looking for? If they were getting rid of some of them, which ones were they wanting to keep?
The big one. The big seeds.
Or the best. The biggest and the best seeds. Those were the ones they wanted to keep.
Strongest.
And they would get rid of all the rest of them. What would they do with the rest of them?
Throw them in the town.
They would throw them. Hank, do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
My shirt's broke.
I'm so sorry about that. Tell your mom when you get home. Okay. So they would take the lesser seeds that they didn't want, and they would toss them. Okay. Well, I haven't asked the question yet. Alyssa, when they tossed them, what would happen? The wind caught them, and the wind took them somewhere. Oh, Olivia, where did that wind take them? Into the town. And where did they fall when they were in the town, Brayden?
In chimneys, into flower pots.
They fell into flower pots. Let me find that sentence.
I know where it is.
Hold on. Maybe it was over here. The seeds slipped into straw roofs and settled into flower pots and sprinkled gardens. Okay, so that was my what? I just found some text
Evidence.
as to where the seeds
Go.
yes, go or went, fell. Okay,
Water.
so they fell in the chimneys, in the straw roofs, and settled into flower pots and gardens. Well, if something falls into all those places, then what would happen to them? What was the first thing that happened, though? They didn't just grow pumpkins, boom. What was the first thing?
They stop.
Yes, and then they
Vines.
snaked vines all through the city. Okay, well then the snaked vines grew big pumpkins, and they were everywhere. They were everywhere.
Over them.
Rooftops sagged under the weight of big moons. Fences fell, and when the wind blew, one had to dodge Happy Jacks and Jack B. Littles falling from trees. Nothing is worse than pumpkins. So there were pumpkins everywhere, guys. Meanwhile, up on their mountains, Jose and his family, they kept stacking and cutting their pumpkins, saving only the best. And they were so excited. Nothing is better than pumpkins. But when Jose and his family looked down on the town, seemed so green and orange. Since their field work was done, and because Jose and his brothers were curious, they had seen something that sparked their curiosity.